What's up, comic book junkies? Welcome to another Saturday morning comic book show. Apologize for last week. I am using a new laptop and I got to check the audio next time. It was horrible, so that won't happen this time. Anyways, we're in the comic room. We're going to be showing comics. Stay tuned for tomorrow when I'm going to show you my 1984 scrapbook from when I was 16 years old. Anyways, let's look at some comic books.
Captain Caveman!
From Banana Mit's Adaman.
The mild-mannered janitor.
#1 super guy.
Hey, what's up, Doc? What's cooking? What's up, Doc?
All right, comic book junkies, glad to be back. Work has been it's a lot of work lately. I barely had a day off. Today's Sunday. I got off yesterday at work at 12 o'clock on Saturday, and I have to go to work in the morning at 4 o'clock. It's been like that, but you know what? Take it while you can. Holidays are coming up. And we are closing on our house in 1 week. And I just went back there, measured the comic room, the new comic room, and it's actually about a foot longer widthwise than this room, and it has a second closet. This one only has one closet, so the other one will have two. It has another one side by side, so I'll keep it open like this and stack up my short boxes inside. So it's the month of November. Happy holidays. Thanksgiving's coming up. Usually November is the month where we start showing our Western comics. So here's Kit Carson from 1951. Number 2. I found this on eBay, I don't know when, for $13, but it's low grade. And, you know, I didn't care. I just liked the graphic. And since the cover was complete, I got it. I don't need a high grade copy of this. You know, I would like one, but these are kind of tough, and I don't want to pay a whole lot of money. But I got it for my Western Good Girl collection. So I got more than a short box of Western Good Girl covers from the Golden Age. Next up, we have from DS Publishing from June 49, Roundup. Now, this is a better looking copy. And I haven't been looking for these for a while, so I don't even know what they're going for these days. I don't even know what I paid for this. But it's just a killer book. 1949. Damsel in Distress. Here I have an original piece of art that I drew of Rudy Sarzo from Quiet Riot. And that's from 1982 that I think I drew that, or 85. It's part of, I've been going through some boxes and pulling out stuff to try to see what I'm going to keep and get rid of, and, you know, getting ready for the move. So tomorrow's video will be my 1984 scrapbook. So look for that. Here's a picture of my wife and myself when we first got married 28 years ago. She's a hottie. She's Dominican. She saw this house. It's a dream house. So I was doing everything I can to give it to her. It's a comic room. If you're new to the channel, if you're not, welcome back. If you are, welcome. We're everything collectible here, comic book related, mostly toys. And I usually don't collect comics if it's doesn't have newsprint pages. I have some moderns, but very few. This is from the same publisher. It's a one-shot. I got it cheap. Well, $33. It's missing the centerfold. I'd hope to upgrade that one day. This looks a lot like a Steve Cannon book with that look on that guy's face. What's his name? Milton Cliff or something. I don't remember the artist. But just a cool cover. It's a great story. I read this one. The plane shooting at him. Girl in Distress again. So this goes in my Western Good Girl comic book collection. And then in the background, you have an original piece of art. It's the opening splash to a comic book that I started drawing. I only got 4 pages in. The premise was it was premised around 4 planets that were 2 worlds. I think one was Gangland, was like the prison for prisoners, and then Forbidden Zone. I don't even remember. But it starts out with some like space sheriff guy going in because, you know, Star Wars was popular at the time when I drew this. But you'll see a little bit more of that on the next video. Here we have another DS Publishing. This is Outlaws from February 49. Again with the Good Girl cover. Anything that has a beautiful girl and it's a Western Golden Age, I call it a good girl. I mean, not represent like the pinup type girl covers, but it's good enough for me. It's a cool comic. And what are we doing here? I created 2 original Night Tiger themed songs. I still want to work on them a little more before I present them in the videos. But I did kind of give a snippet of it on Instagram. This is a really low grade, but this is an EC. And this is Graham Ingles cover, and I paid $23. I won as an auction win for $23. But these Saddle Justices by EC are extremely scarce. And it's got a nice little rattlesnake down there at the bottom. Now this is definitely a pinup looking kind of cover. And what is this from I think this is 49 also. 1949. Now I got a few little other odd things here that I'm going to show. They're comic book related, but not comic books. I'm glad to be back, you guys. I really enjoy doing these videos, and mostly love seeing the interaction that you give me with your comments and the support. So here we have this came out of one of my boxes with stuff from the past. Even though it's pretty modern, I don't even know how it got in there. But who does this? Jay Jones cover. But it had an article in here. When I paged through it, I wanted to read the article. And I'll pick these up whenever I find them for like $1, $5 or less. So what was the article that was in here I wanted to read? I don't even remember. Okay, we got Dan DiCarlo. I guess we got some stuff on some artists here. Oh, we have Gary. He's a comic book seller, big on eBay. I think I bought stuff from him in the past. So a lot of things about sellers here, but here we have some stuff on original art, sales. But that wasn't the article I wanted to read. Where is that article at? I might have to just give it up here in a minute. I think it had to do with grading, War Report. This is on War Comics. Yeah, I think this is the one here. Sorry it's taking so long. I guess I thought it was on grading because I thought, you know, this is kind of earlier in grading and I wanted to read it. Here it is. This is the story. Joe Simon at 100. Now, I met Jesse Simon, his grandson, when I went to New York. And then we had a good relationship over social media. I always like looking at the pictures in here too. I thought there was another article in here I wanted to read. Oh, here's one on Ninja Turtles. There was one on Groot. Wolverine at 40. Turtles at 30. G.I. Joe, the silent issue. She at 20. I guess they go down and... Oh, this is what I wanted to read. So this is the history of the Golden Age comics of Canadian, which I do have quite a handful. Actually, I almost bought this one, but I do have 2 freelances that are harder to get than that one. I have 1 issue of Wild Comics, 1 issue of Triumph. So this is cool. I do know pretty much about it, but I want to read other people's takes in case I missed information, because I want to be well versed on the Golden Age comics of Canada. It's such a great story. Anyways, one day I'll probably do a video on it. And then I got this here. I got this at Ollie's. Let me back up the camera in a minute. I don't want to knock stuff over. So DC Comics 75th anniversary poster book. So all these books, it has blown up pictures of iconic covers that has a serrated line where you can pull them out and you can frame them or do whatever you want. And you can see on the bottom some of the books that are in here and some of the covers. I don't think that's all of them. But I actually have this issue. It's always fun when you have the issues that are in the books. Do I have this one? I might have this one also. And I know I have this one of the Atom over here. That I do not have, though. I have the next issue. And I have the next issue of that one. I almost bought this for $2. It was missing this much of the cover. And I left it. And I should have never left it. It's such a cool cover. Don't have none of those. Don't none of those. I want to get this one. I saw this one. I'm like, man, I want to get that. But I couldn't find none for sale online. I also would like to own this one. I like that cover. Iconic. But just a cool book. And then you can see over here, you can pull them out. So I picked that up at Ollie's for probably $5 or $6. And then this is cool. I got this on eBay. What did I pay for this? $33. It's from 1959. And it's like I don't know if you know anything about British comics, but they do an album or an annual at the end of the year. And this one had a robot cover. And it was really cool. Look how thick that thing is. And I already read this. But this is all reprints from American Comics. Black and white. But just a cool piece to have in the collection. Master of Magic. Buffalo Bill. Dr. Fung. Master Sleuth of the Orient. And then Espionage starring Black Axe. Look at all the skulls in here. Right there. Clock Strikes. I think that's a Will Eisner story right there. So pretty cool. I paid $33 for it. Interesting piece in the collection. It's something that I'm not going to get rid of because it's just unique. I like having little unique pieces in my collection that other people don't have, so it makes mine unique. So this also was in my nostalgic box that I went through. It's really low grade. I think it was my daughter said that she found it at her house. It was mine. I had left it there or something. I don't remember. I don't even remember. Anyways, when I got it, it smelled like an ashtray. And I put this thing in a big plastic container like that with sprinkled baking soda over all the pages, all the way throughout on the top and the bottom, and sealed it up. And I left it there for like 2 weeks, and it doesn't smell at all like cigarettes anymore. But obviously a reprint. I already have this original copy or issue. I think this may even be missing pages. I don't know. I have all the Flash races in Superman. All right, so we got that. And now let's get on some comics. This is an upgrade. I just picked this up. Is this? Yeah. What did I pay for this? I paid $8 for this, but it's an upgrade. I have a lower grade copy. I always like rocket covers, space covers, even if it's in funny books. So I thought this one was pretty cool. And it looks really nice in this. It's like a 5.0. But this is great. I don't collect Richie Rich. I kind of stay away from him because he's so saturated the comic book market. There's just millions and millions of Richie Rich books. But it's a little bit earlier, and it's a cool iconic space cover. What is this from? 1970. In high grade, it looks, it looks pretty cool. Dang, we're 14 minutes in already. This is a cool one. This is a Canadian one. So I saw Jambo showing these on his channel at one point, and I started searching for them, and they're pricey. I just happened to get lucky on this one for $30, and it's a Canadian issue. You can kind of tell by the way the colors are offset from the lines a little bit on the front, and that will happen usually in the interior pages more than the covers. And then the cover inside will be blank. Those are just some telltale signs of a Canadian comic. And this is printed by Ace International. So the American ones were printed by Ace Comics. I got so many stacks of comics put aside for you guys to show that I can't remember if they're ones I read or didn't read, or where they have to go once I'm done. Some books I pulled out for the Halloween show. I don't think I shown them though. This is low grade, but I thought it was a cool Black Magic with the witch. They're coming out of the cauldron there and the smoke. That's from 1950. This one, 1952. This is also a Canadian edition, which is harder to get than the American one. And I just don't like the cover because then it could have been so much cooler if they actually would have showed the guy's face. But instead, it says censored. Read The Ugliest Man in the World. Tales of Horror. Demons of the Underworlds, #1. This is probably one of my first golden age or pre-code horror comics that I got in my collection. Obviously, it's not as much desirable, the fact that they don't really show anything. And like I said, this is Canadian edition, 1952. And then here, Journey into Unknown Worlds. Now, these are pretty cool. This is March 54, Carl Burger's cover. But this is one of the lamer covers. It's not really that scary. You got a little skull down there. And it is a pretty nice copy for these Atlas books. But it's a pre-code. I always have a rule when it comes to these comics like this, Journey into Unknown Worlds, $50 pre-code is up to all I'll pay for it. And then if it has the code on it, I'll pay no more than $30. But a lot of people try to sell the coded ones for more than $50, and it's just not worth it. I almost gave this away. I almost said I'm tired of looking at it because I don't like the cover, and was going to just give it away in a prize. And since it sat there a while and I kept staring at it, I'm like, oh, you know what? I just better keep it. So number 1950, another low grade, but got a horror-esque cover to it. Wanted Comics. I think that's a pretty cool looking cover. It's a crime comic, so to have that little horror element in it. And these always had these actual wanted, for the person was actually wanted at the time this comic was published. So they would put their faces on the front of the comics. And you never know, you could walk up to a comic book stand and the guy might be standing right next to you paging through a book. And this will be Last of the Golden Age. I think I may have just showed these because I needed to read a Mylar all these. This is from 1948. I paid $12 for that. I just pressed it recently. It still has a bit of a miscut or miswrap, but just a cool ghost cover, decent looking. I think I paid $12 with the shipping and tax. Goofy Comics. What is this? 48. Yep, 1948. So I thought, what the heck? Like I say, I like to have unique pieces in my collection. And even though that's not expensive and maybe not desirable, it's quite unique. And it's pre-code, and it didn't cost a lot of money. And it's not super low grade. Okay, so I just picked this book up recently. And this was $1 at my LCS. There are 6 issues of this. And they are George Perez covers. They all have the exact same cover, but they have different colors for the background. And the interiors are also different. So this is kind of a promo book. They took remainder issues from DC Comics and they put 3 issues together, put this cover on it. And I don't know if they sold it because there's no price. I think more likely they gave them away as promotions to like entice you into their store, because they would sell them at train stations and airports, like travel ports, places to get you to come in and to look at brochures and stuff like that. You probably will get this free comic book. So now I have 2 of the 6. I have the pink one and I have the blue one. And both times I find them for $1. Nobody wants them. So that's pretty cool. And so it's from 1980. Has some great stories in this one. Some kind of horror-esque issues. I don't know if that was intentional or not. This one I found at the flea market for less than $6. They actually had the Batman one. And I came to the flea market. And usually when I hit the first vendor, I don't want to spend all my money right away. I said, oh, I'll come back. So when I came back, the Batman one was gone. I thought I had a second copy of this, but I have not been able to locate it because I promised it to Super Russ 9000 if I ever found it. But just a cool issue, 80-page giant, number 7. So the 80 pages actually started out as their own title. I don't know how long they lasted. Not very long. I don't think they made it to 10 issues before they incorporated the title into the actual series. So like later on, the Superman one would be in the Superman series. So cool book, 80 pages, 25 cents, 1963. Obviously square bound. And then my favorites, some of my favorites are coming up here. A bunch of them, actually. So 1981, $1 comic, Who is the Insect Queen? Ross Andrew cover. 5 stories, all new, $1. December 80, what did I say, 83? And then we have, oh man, I think it was 81. Yeah, that was 81. December 81. Here's October 81. Down at the bottom, I like that series, the Mr. and Mrs. Clark Kent series. So wedding of Batman and Catwoman in here. So this is kind of a key. And I haven't read that one yet. Here we have number 216. So we have March 82. Supergirl. Bob Oskner cover with Dick Giordano on inks. So this one's starring Supergirl. 5 stories, all new again. And then this is, I like this cover. So it's number 217, so April 82. And this has the Golden Age Superman in it. Great robot. Michelin robot with the cape on. Love these $1 comics. Okay, next we have a reprint. So this is number 136. This was an AOK from BWD. Reprints Rawhide Kid number 20. And this is near the end of the run. Jack Kirby cover. Shootout with Blackjack, Board and Gang. Great corner box up there. Then we got first appearance of Amanda Walker in Legends in November 86, number 1. Man, I don't know. I still come across these in dollar bins quite often. This is one of those books I call key wannabes because people want to say, oh, it's a key, so they want to charge 10 to 20 bucks. And normally I still find them for $1. Killer John Byrne art, cover and interiors. It's John Byrne, right? Yeah. Dark Side on the cover. Here from the January 79, we have a nice, cool Wonder Woman cover. Wonder Woman with red hair. There can only be one Wonder Woman. Bam. Great kick shot. Got the contest for Superman, the second movie. Now, 40 cents. More Wonder Woman. This one's a pretty cool, March 79. I like this cover. Who does this cover? Delbo? I don't know who that is. But look at all the background in purple. All the scenes of Wonder Woman. I like when they do that with covers and they make it all one color. Incredible. The battle with the body snatcher from space. I wonder if this was a time when they had that remake out of the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But she's got her sword. She's got her sheath right there with the leather belt. Great cover. There's some really good issues of this Wonder Woman between 78 and like 82. Before Gene Colan took over, even though I like him. Here we have, so in these videos of mine, if you're new to the channel, I basically just like to show comics that aren't keys and don't get seen a lot. They're ones in everybody's collection. And they're still cool because everybody, you know, obviously if they weren't, no one would put them in their collection. So we have the other Black Lightning down here. And we can tell because he has the B and the L. And he has that Captain America kind of shield there. And we have the Trickster up top. This, I guess, is 78 maybe, 77. Number 10, Black Lightning. 35 cents. 79. Another Wonder Woman. Jose Delbo. 1978, February. Garcia Lopez, so it must be double in the interiors. Garcia Lopez, man, he is a great artist. And I love wanted poster covers on superhero comics. What's more cooler than seeing the superhero in a wanted poster? You know the story's going to have to be good. $2.40. Some more Rawhide Kid, number 137. The original issue was number 23 from 61. So this is from 1977. Another Jack Kirby cover. Another great corner box up there. And then we have a modern comic. This reprints Spider-Man number 5. But just with an original Doom cover, though. That's why I picked it up. It has that original Doom cover by Ron Frenz. Spider-Man Classics in the Grip of Doom. So a really cool Doom cover. Up next from 1973, Luis Dominguez, another great artist. Low grade, but it's the Phantom Stranger, number 25. And this also has that backup feature with Spawn of Frankenstein. It sounds cool, man, but it's really not. It's kind of cheesy. He's almost like a superhero kind of. Look at that date stamp right there. Oh, that date stamp is cool. Look at her face. I always enjoy seeing when artists draw these stakes or post on the pier and how they do the tops where the hammer had mashed down the wood. That tells me a lot about an artist when I see that. Here from February 74, Astonishing Tales number 2 featuring Colossus. We got giant monsters battling each other. How long can even the thing called It stand against the overwhelming menace of Granitor, Lord of the Gargoyles? Actually read, not this one, but I think the issue after it, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. And then here we have not quite a corner box, but he's ravaging the buildings. And we got a dealer mark right there. So it came in on November 1st. And you obviously know that comics were published 3 months before the actual cover date on the comic. That's when they came out. This is just a cool October 82 through 69 and I Vampire with a Mike Kaluta cover. Look at these little skulls right here in the grass. You can see those like people. What a great touch to that cover. Okay, one more because we're at 30 minutes and I do not want to keep you that long. So here we go. Dave Cochran cover featuring Jack of Hearts, December 77. We'll leave it at this one here. And I love Jack of Hearts. He is such a great looking character. Popping right off the playing cards. And he's got the chainmail and the half black face. And Dave Cochran, another great artist. And look at the colors. And then we have, what is that? The Guardian in the background. I don't know who that other guy is. Guardsman. Oh, it's the Guardsman, the Wraith, and Jack of Hearts. Tells us right down there. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed your Saturday morning comic book show. And we'll be back because I'm going to film one right now. Take care, guys. And my sisters.